But fans have threatened to boycott American Idol over Katy Perry's rude and condescending behavior. Katy is known for being one of those celebrity judges who loves to scold contestants. If anything, her time on the show has proven to be pretty controversial. She has consistently gotten herself into hot water with her bizarre antics, and after this latest episode, fans made it clear that they are getting sick of it. They feel that Katy was overly harsh on contestants Karina D'Angelo and Nutsa Abuza after they performed their duet. The two of them admitted that they clashed during rehearsals. Apparently Nutsa wanted to get a good night's sleep before the performance rather than staying up all night, so they were not nearly on the same page. At this point, Katy suggested that they should perform anyway, even though they were obviously unprepared. After the performance, Lionel Richie tried to give his opinion, but Katy cut him off and said that it was underwhelming. She said, "I just think the energy was broken between both of you, and so I think you couldn't give each other the energy you both needed, that you both deserved. I think you're both better than that performance." In the end, Karina was sent home while Nutsa was given another chance to redeem herself later on. Katy probably thought she made the right call, but after the episode aired, fans were fuming. They took to social media calling for her to be replaced. One person tagged American Idol and ABC Network. They said, "Katy Perry is rude and overrated. Time for a new judge that brings everything and then some. Just too bad that Kelly Clarkson is on The Voice." Another person wrote, "Please Katy Perry be done with American Idol. I've got all the audition tapes to watch, I just can't because of Katy Perry. She's so rude and insensitive. I know she tries to act like she is sensitive, but it's an act, a bad one." Now fans are bringing up other moments that they believe show that Katy Perry was being overly harsh to American Idol contestants. In a resurfaced clip, a barefoot contestant named Erica Perry can be seen standing on stage performing her version of Valerie. Right from the jump, you can tell that she has a slightly unique way of singing, and Katy picks up on it too. But instead of letting her complete the song, she immediately interrupts her and tells her to slow it down. Erica pauses for a bit and then continues singing, but soon Katy Perry interjects again and then tells her to enunciate all the words. She picks back up where she left off, but then she gets cut off a third time, and Katy once again asks her to say all the words properly. At this point, she looks like she's getting a little bit exasperated. The clip was recently shared on TikTok, and it really has fans divided. Some people think that she was just doing her job, and others say they would have cried if they were in that situation. More recently, Katy has made viewers furious after she shamed a 16-year-old contestant. Paige Ann, who also works as a snow cone employee, delivered her signature flavor to the judges that she called Sour Patch Kid. She went on to sing the Pink song What About Us for her audition, which Katy was not super pleased with. She said, "That end stuff, that was the Sour Patch. That was the finishing touch which made it you. In the beginning, it was just ice, not a whole lot of flavor." So it was a real flip. It was like she's not ready, and then at the end it was like, oh, okay, she may be able to compete. Lionel and Luke voted yes to pass her through the next round, but Katy voted no and said, "I don't think you're ready yet. It's a no for me." Fans were fuming at her decision. One of them wrote, "I'm super shocked Katy said she isn't ready. I know it's not all about the voice, but her voice is one of the best in the competition. That is a winning voice." Another one said, "There is something wrong with Katy Perry this season. She must be having trouble in her personal life because her attitude is strange, and she's putting people through who shouldn't go through, and then she seems to come down pretty hard on attractive young women. So I would say the problem was not in the contestant, but in Katy Perry." So what do you guys think about the boycott that's happening now? If enough people speak up, do you think she could actually be kicked off the show? It would save them a lot of money considering that she gets paid $25 million per season. So let me know in the comments below. Okay, let's get into the Bud Light controversy. This week, the beer brand made the decision to partner with a very popular trans influencer named Dylan Mulvaney. Dylan made the announcement to her 1.7 million Instagram followers and showed everyone that she had received a personalized Bud Light beer can. In the video, she was sitting next to multiple cans of Bud Light while dressed like Audrey Hepburn's character in Breakfast at Tiffany's. She said, "This month I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it. This wasn't on my bingo card, but it's now my most prized possession." In another video from the campaign, she could be seen holding a can of Bud Light while sitting in a bubble bath and dancing. Dylan became internet famous when she decided to document her transition over the past year. Every day she would make a video and talk about the new things that she's learned about girlhood. Fans posted messages of congratulations. One person said, "Guess I have to start buying Bud Light again. We are all human, we all deserve representation. Thanks for being an ally." People tweeted things like, "We love Dylan," and "Trans rights are human rights." But not everyone was celebrating. In fact, the campaign received an overwhelmingly negative response, and a lot of it was from people who actually drink Bud Light. The comment section of Dylan's video was flooded with thousands of anti-trans comments. They insisted that they would never drink Bud Light again and threatened to boycott the brand. One of those people was Kid Rock, who decided to take his anger out on a box of Bud Light cans. He posted a strange video wearing a dirty zip hoodie and a white MAGA hat. The whole thing was almost comedically embarrassing. He said, "Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today. Let me say something to all of you and be as clear and concise as possible." He then starts firing at 4 packs of cans with a rifle and then flipping off the camera. At this point, he turns around and says, "F Bud Light. Have a terrific day." What's really crazy about all of this is the fact that those 4 large boxes of Bud Light are worth around $22 each. That means that in order for him to take out his frustration, he would have had to pay almost $90. Not only that, but it was just a waste of beer. The video was relentlessly mocked on social media. People wrote things like, "Imagine how sad your life has to be to spend time doing this, and you actually had to buy beer before you showed your ignorance." Another comment said, another person wrote, "What a bizarrely hateful and violent reaction to Budweiser partnering with a trans activist. This man needs serious help." Others pointed out that Kid Rock's very own steakhouse currently serves both Bud Light and Bud Light Lime. But it's also important to note that he did receive a lot of support for his actions, and he wasn't the only one destroying beer. Former Trump Administrator Sebastian Gorka wasted at least $8.27 for a 6-pack of Bud Light bottles, which he threw in the bin. Of course, he also posted that video on social media. Now, the reason so many people have decided to join the boycott is because they think the campaign is an attempt to push gender propaganda. For them, Budweiser was thought to be one of the few remaining companies who haven't tried to make their branding more inclusive, but that's never actually been the case. In fact, Bud Light specifically has a long history of supporting the LGBTQ+ community. In the 90s, they started putting out commercials featuring drag queens, and their tagline was, "Labels belong on beer, not people." Fast forward to 2019, and they released rainbow-inspired bottles to celebrate World Pride. So it's not like they just started becoming inclusive out of nowhere. In a statement to Fox News, Bud Light said that they work with hundreds of influencers as a way to authentically connect with audiences across various demographics. They also said they gifted the special Bud Light can to Dylan as a way to celebrate her personal milestone. So obviously they plan to stick by the campaign and not give in to the mounting public pressure. For her part, Dylan has also proven time and time again that she's not afraid of controversy. While TikTok is the platform that made her famous, it's also the place where she gets the most hate. One thing that people seem to have a problem with is the fact that she refers to herself as a girl and not a woman, despite the fact that she's 26 years old. She explained that she does this because she only transitioned 1 year ago, and she never got to experience girlhood. Dylan made another video addressing this criticism. She said, "They think I'm infantilizing myself, or that, once you turn 18 you're no longer a girl. So I think some of that's rooted in transphobia." Then a few months later, she was criticized again after Tampax sent her a few boxes of menstrual products. They did this because she mentioned that she makes a habit of carrying them around in public just in case someone else needs them. But of course, people were not satisfied with this explanation. They sent multiple complaints out to Tampax, and Dylan eventually had to make a TikTok addressing the entire situation. She said, "The bigger problem is that you feel me carrying around a box of tampons a threat to you and your womanhood. How is someone doing something nice so repulsive to you?" Then in response to clips of her walking around in tight clothing, Dylan posted a video explaining that she often felt uncomfortable in public because people would stare at her crotch. She said, "Can we all just normalize women having bulges sometimes? But coming up on bikini season and you might see a bulge or two, so normalize the bulge." As you would have guessed, this TikTok went viral, and it wasn't long before she got a ton of hate. Caitlyn Jenner was actually one of those people. She tweeted, "There is a difference between acceptance and tolerance, and normalizing exposing your genitals in a public way and a public place. I do not support that at all in the slightest." In response, Dylan accused her of using her platform to publicly degrade transgender people. She called Caitlyn a hypocrite and said, "The call is coming from inside the house," which is just a classic comeback. And lastly, let's talk about Jeremy Renner's shocking confession. The actor says that he was writing his final words to his loved ones after he got crushed by a snowplow earlier this year, so he 100% thought he was going to die. Jeremy recently spoke to Diane Sawyer during a very emotional interview. He admitted that dying alone would have been a horrendous way to leave this earth, and said he was incredibly thankful to his nephew for being there. He admitted that he was actually writing notes on his phone, which he intended to be his last sentiments to his family. In a clip from the interview, he said, 8 ribs broken in 14 places. Right knee, right ankle broken, left leg tibia broken, left ankle broken, right clavicle broken, right shoulder broken, face, eye socket, jaw, mandible broken, lung collapsed. And after going through all of this, Jeremy remembered thinking about the lasting impact of his injuries. He said, what's my body going to look like? Am I just going to be a spine and a brain, like a science experiment? Jeremy was working near his home on Mount Rose Highway, which is around 20 minutes from downtown Reno. At some point, he got out of his snowplow when he was run over by his own vehicle. TMZ reported that the plow ran over one of his legs and other parts of his body, causing him to lose a lot of blood. Thankfully, one of his neighbors, who was also a doctor, was nearby. They were able to apply a tourniquet on his leg until paramedics arrived. There was a storm going on at the time, and so the first responders were initially concerned that weather conditions were going to make it difficult to access the scene. The 911 call log obtained by TMZ stated that Jeremy could be heard moaning in the background. He was said to be experiencing heavy bleeding as a result of being completely crushed by the machinery. When the neighbor spoke to the dispatcher, they said, "We just need someone here right away with life-saving techniques. He got crushed underneath it. There is a lot of blood over here, so we need to get someone over here immediately." Jeremy was then loaded into a medical helicopter and flown to the ICU, where he underwent 2 surgeries to address his injuries. In another clip from the interview, Jeremy spoke about the horrendous experience. He said, "I chose to survive. That's not gonna kill me, no way. I've lost a lot of flesh and bone in this experience, but I've been refueled and refilled with love and titanium." Despite all of his pain, he said that he would do it all over again to save his nephew. Khloe Kardashian and Italian heartthrob Michele Morrone met for the first time when they were both in attendance last week at Kim Kardashian's fashion show with Dolce & Gabbana. The internet went crazy when Michele posted a photo of him and Khloe over the weekend on his Instagram story with tons of fan theories about a possible romance based on the way that Michele was looking at her in the photo. But here's the thing, apparently he only posed with her because Dolce & Gabbana asked him to. He did think that Khloe was very nice, but that's the extent of their relationship. So no, they are not dating. More footage from the night out of the after party appears to portray the two of them speaking to each other very close together, while Khloe rubs the actor's back. But maybe it's a good thing that the two of them aren't together, because the last thing that Khloe needs right now is another player. Michele Morrone played the lead role in 365 Days, which if you haven't watched it, it's kind of like 50 Shades of Grey from Wish. The movie was a train wreck for multiple reasons, but its breakout star captured the hearts of women everywhere, and his career is already taking off because of it. Khloe, on the other hand, is in a very different place. It's clear that she really wants to move on from the massive Tristan Thompson scandal that completely turned her world upside down in recent years. In fact, she's allegedly very anxious about having to face all the drama all over again when the new season of The Kardashians airs on Hulu. A source close to the star told Hollywood Life that she's not looking forward to her heartbreak being broadcasted to the world, and she cannot wait for this all to be behind her, which makes a lot of sense when you consider how traumatic it must have been for her to not only be cheated on, but to have the whole world know about it too. It all started in 2018 when photos of Tristan having an affair surfaced online while he was dating Khloe. And get this, she was 9 months pregnant at the time. Then if you thought that was bad, not long after, TMZ came out with video footage dating way back to October of 2017 that showed the NBA player kissing 2 other random women at a club. But despite the fact that there was now hard evidence of Tristan cheating on Khloe without really attempting to hide it, they decided to stay together for the birth of their child. But things did not stay smooth forever, as in 2019 reports surfaced that Tristan had cheated on Khloe once again, this time with none other than Jordyn Woods, who was a close friend of the family, seeing that she was Kylie Jenner's best friend and roommate. Anonymous party attendees told TMZ that the pair were all over each other and made out several times throughout the night. The explosive incident almost broke up the family entirely, and as a result, multiple relationships were ruined. Khloe and Tristan seemed to have broken up for good. But only months after the scandal with Jordyn, the couple reunited and Khloe decided to forgive his past indiscretions and take him back. She said, "Life is short. We are all humans trying to figure out this thing called life." After that, things seemed to be going well for Khloe and Tristan, who decided to have a second child together, this time through a surrogate. But shortly after the embryo was implanted, yet another disaster struck when it was revealed that Tristan had been having an affair with Marilee Nichols, and she was pregnant with their son Theo. After a paternity test proved that Tristan was in fact Theo's father, he issued a lengthy apology, saying, "Khloe, you don't deserve this. You don't deserve the heartache and humiliation I have caused you. You don't deserve the way I have treated you over the years. I am so incredibly sorry." Khloe and Tristan's surrogate gave birth to a baby boy on August the 5th this year, and an insider told Hollywood Life that she is going to be having full custody over their son. Quote, "Khloe and Tristan have agreed that Khloe will have sole legal and physical custody of their baby full time." For the first time ever, the Kardashian star opened up about all the trauma that she's gone through as a result of Tristan's infidelity and deceit. She said, "I was definitely very angry, and I think I was feeling bamboozled. All I know is I was being encouraged to implant the embryo by a certain date. In hindsight, he always knew when the other baby was being born." Sources close to the star insist that this time there's no place in her mind that wants to take Tristan back. She's really done with him romantically, which makes perfect sense as after everything that's happened, Khloe is clearly opting to focus on her young family instead of worrying about what her ex is up to. The source has just confirmed to Entertainment Tonight that the two of them are dating. They said, quote, "They are keeping things casual at this point. It's not serious, but Kylie is enjoying hanging out with Timothy and seeing where it goes. It's been really fun for her because it feels a lot different than her past relationships. It's new and exciting for Kylie and she's having a lot of fun." Okay, so maybe the attraction here is that she wanted to try something different and date someone who she wouldn't normally go for. That sort of makes sense, but fans are still shocked that they would even consider dating each other. In fact, they've already been voted the most unexpected couple of 2023. It all started earlier this month when a celebrity gossip account posted anonymous tips saying that they had been an item since around January. When the rumors first came out, they pretty much broke the internet, but it turned out to be true. A few days ago, Kylie's car was spotted in the driveway of Timothy's home in Beverly Hills. The two of them later went for a secret taco date. At that time, they seemed to consistently be hanging out and getting to know each other. Then a source spoke to Us Weekly and revealed the reason that Kylie is so into him. Apparently, she thinks he's a total gentleman and treats her with respect. He's also just a very charming person, makes her laugh, and he's easy to talk to. There is still some confusion about how they met though, because most people wouldn't think that they would be moving in the same social circles. So here is the explanation. Timothy is also friends with Kendall Jenner, and she was his biggest connection to the Kardashians. So while he has never been a documented part of Kylie's friend group, his friendship with Kendall means the two of them have crossed paths multiple times. And at a certain point in time, they probably felt a spark and decided that they wanted to see where things go. So Kylie was introduced to him through her sister, and because the rest of the family was already familiar with him, it made it that much easier for her to integrate him into her life. The question is, if they have been seeing each other since January, then why haven't they addressed the romance publicly or stepped out together in an official capacity? Well, it seemed like Coachella could have been a great opportunity to do that, but we know that Kylie ended up going alone. A source close to the star explained her decision and said that she didn't want to make things public with Timothy just yet. They said that she really wanted to chill and have fun with her friends, so she probably wasn't ready to make this big announcement to the world, especially if things are still not that serious between them. So far, the response to the new couple has been absolutely insane. One person tweeted, "Kylie Jenner and Timothy Chalamet dating feels the same as when two people from your high school that never interacted start dating like 6 years after graduation." Fans have also been comparing this couple to the long-running joke of Tom Holland and Nicki Minaj getting together, which feels like something that would happen in an alternate universe. Others pointed to the unbelievable relationship that's happening between Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny, and they were arguing in the comment section about which couple is more random. There are even rumors that Kris Jenner is trying to hide a massive scandal, so that's why she set up these two PR relationships. If that's true, she's doing a great job because this is all anyone's been talking about for a very long time. But the fact is that Kylie genuinely seems like she's ready to move on from everything that happened between her and Travis Scott. They first started dating in 2017 and they had 2 kids together, although they've since broken up and gotten back together at least a million times. Add that to the cheating rumors that came out in October last year, and it was pretty clear that Travis wasn't treating her right at all. 3 months ago, it was reported that they were on a break, and then then there was a possibility of them getting back together, but thankfully that hasn't happened yet. No one knows how long her relationship with Timothy is going to last, but if he treats her better than Travis, I think that's the main thing. Okay, now why are fans saying that Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens are dating? Fans started speculating that something was going on between them when they noticed that Zac was officially following Vanessa on Instagram, which was a full 10 years after they broke up. She hasn't followed him back yet, but people are already jumping to conclusions about what this could mean. This is seriously all it took for fans to push the idea of them getting back together. Zac and Vanessa rose to fame after playing on-screen love interest Troy and Gabriella in High School Musical. The hugely popular franchise gave them each a massive fan base, which only got bigger when they took their romance into the real world and started dating in 2007. Apparently they had instant chemistry as soon as they got on set together. For the 3 years that they were in a relationship, Zac and Vanessa really seemed to be a teenage dream. Even to this day, there are still fans who hope that they find each other again. At the time, they blamed their breakup on long distance and said that their careers took them in separate places. But in 2015, Vanessa finally opened up about all the struggles they were going through. She admitted that she sometimes struggled with jealousy because Zac attracted a lot of attention from female fans. She said, "I went through a phase when I was really mean because I was so fed up. Girls were running after him and I was giving them death stares. Then I realized that's not what that's about." But she admitted that she was grateful for the relationship, especially because it occurred during such a crazy time in her life. Vanessa explained that it kept her stabilized and grounded because she had someone to lean on who was also going through the same thing as well. Sadly, the two of them eventually lost contact after they broke up, and they did not speak to each other for almost a decade. Over the years, there were moments when they would mention each other in interviews or reference their days on High School Musical, and it always seemed like they were hinting at the possibility of a reunion. Like in early 2020, when Vanessa revealed that she still had the tea necklace that Troy gave Gabriella in the first movie. Then in the summer of 2022, over 15 years after they first met, Vanessa returned to the place where they fell in love. She posted a video of herself on the set of High School Musical, while the song Breaking Free was playing in the background. A few weeks later, Zac did the exact same thing and posted a photo of himself standing in front of the school. In the caption, he wrote, "Don't you forget about me." And of course, that was enough to send fans over the edge. And now that they're both in their mid-30s and had a few more relationships under their belt, things would be very different if they actually got back together. After getting out of a 9-year relationship with Austin Butler, Vanessa is currently engaged to baseball player Cole Tucker, and the two of them seem happier than ever. She said she knew he was the one very soon after meeting him. As for Zac, he is either single right now or keeping his new relationship on the down low. His last girlfriend that we know of was Vanessa Valadares, but that was said to have fizzled out at some point in 2021. So right now the speculation that Zac and Vanessa are dating is nothing more than wishful thinking. Okay, big news with the Bud Light scandal. In the wake of their controversial partnership with Dylan Mulvaney, Anheuser-Busch has now seen its value plummet by about $5 billion. According to the New York Post, the company has fallen 5.02% since the 31st of March and lost billions in market cap. This staggering loss is a result of a 2-week boycott of Bud Light after they partnered with a popular trans influencer for their March Madness campaign. The company sent Dylan several cans of Bud Light with her face printed on them, and then she posted a promotional video thanking the company. Just hours after posting the videos on TikTok, the right-wing backlash exploded. The comment section of her post was flooded with thousands of anti-trans comments, with customers claiming that they would never drink Bud Light again. At first, Anheuser-Busch stood by their decision and said that they were trying to authentically connect with audiences across various demographics. But then last Friday, the CEO posted an apology statement to Twitter, which read, "We never intended to be part of a discussion that divides people. We are in the business of bringing people together over a beer." Brendan Whitworth mentioned things like his military service and his love of hardworking Americans, but he never actually mentioned the boycott or explained why he was writing the letter. While this was happening, the executive who came up with the partnership doubled down on her decision to work with Dylan. Alyssa Heinerscheid, Budweiser's vice president of marketing, went on a podcast and explained that they were trying to attract more women and younger drinkers. She said, "It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men. Bud Light has been kind of a brand of fratty, out-of-touch humor, and it was really important that we had another approach." What she's talking about is Bud Light's deep association with blue-collar conservative America, which is the reason why they have been so hesitant to make their marketing more inclusive. It's also what's kept them from rebranding their company and publicly supporting the LGBTQ community, which is a huge market. It's estimated to be around 9% of the world's population, and around 18% of Gen Z. They represent around $3.9 trillion a year annually in global purchasing power, and as more of them start to reach drinking age, this translates to a whole lot of cash for alcohol brands. In the past, Bud Light has tried to appeal to the queer community by releasing things like rainbow-inspired bottles to celebrate World Pride. This wasn't exactly a unique idea because a ton of other brands were already doing the same thing, but for whatever reason, customers have now decided that what they did with Dylan Mulvaney was a step too far. They obviously expected to get a few complaints here and there, but there was no way that they could have foreseen how big this boycott was going to get. The public pressure that they're getting right now is absolutely absurd, so it's no wonder they're already trying to backpedal. Even Donald Trump Jr. called for the end of the boycott and said that he doesn't support destroying an iconic American company for something like this. He said, "The company itself doesn't participate in the same leftist nonsense as other big conglomerates." But while everyone is stepping in and trying to put out this fire, Dylan is completely unbothered and living her best life. She really doesn't seem to be too affected by all the outrage and the controversy that's been going on. In fact, she believes that it all comes down to the fact that people don't understand her as a person, and they're only operating based on assumptions. She went on a podcast with Rosie O'Donnell and said, "The reason I think I'm an easy target is because I'm still new to this. I think going after a trans woman who has been doing this for 20 years is a lot more difficult." She went on to say, "These people, they don't understand me, and anything that I do or say then somehow gets taken out of context and is used against me. And it's so sad because everything I try to put out there is positive. It's trying to connect with others that maybe don't understand me. It's to make people laugh or make a kid feel seen." Dylan has proven time and time again that she's always aiming for more representation. Unfortunately, she's had to deal with a ton of anti-trans hate recently, and a lot of it came from her partnership with Nike. In the UK, some women have said that they're boycotting the sports brand after Dylan posted a paid partnership wearing Nike leggings and a sports bra doing star jumps. Soon after, former British Olympic swimmer Sharon Davies called out the campaign for what she thought was a parody of womanhood. She also said that it was hypocritical of Nike, considering their almost non-existent financial contribution to women's sports. And of course, one of Dylan's biggest critics turned out once again to be Caitlyn Jenner. She slammed the Nike partnership and said that it was a shame to see such an iconic American company go so woke. She tweeted, "We can be inclusive, but not at the expense of the mass majority of people, and have some decency while being inclusive. This is an outrage." Her tweets are kinda confusing given that she was the face of H&M Sport in 2016. But hey, it's very doubtful that Dylan is going to pay her any more attention this time around.
So why did Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson break up? Well, it seems that it comes down to some completely civil stuff. Scheduling, age differences, and, you'll never guess this one, different personalities were some of the reasons that the two called it quits after their 9-month relationship. One source said, quote, "Kim and Pete have decided to just be friends. They have a lot of love and respect for each other, but found that the long distance and their demanding schedules made it really difficult to maintain a relationship." But like I said, the couple's age difference was also likely a big part of it too. Kim and Pete are around 13 years apart, so it's not the most surprising thing. And a source confirms this, saying, quote, "Pete is 28. And Kim is 41. They are just in very different places at the moment. Pete is totally spontaneous and impulsive and wants her to fly to New York or wherever he is on a moment's notice. But Kim has 4 kids, and it isn't that easy. She needs to focus on the kids." This same insider also revealed that Kim's various businesses, of which there are many, have made keeping a relationship difficult for her, saying, quote, "She's totally exhausted by this relationship and other things going on in her life." But that's not to say that they were not getting along or had no chemistry. They absolutely had a lot of chemistry, and anyone who's seen them together would agree with that. Yet another source, this time for Entertainment Tonight, said, quote, "They had tons of chemistry and still do, but she kind of wants to be single and date. Kim still adores Pete and will always be friends with him. She still thinks he's the nicest and sweetest guy in the world, and there's no drama or anything weird between them now." This source continues to say, quote, "She felt like Pete was the extreme opposite of Kanye, and it was good for her then. She initially thought it would be a fun fling, but then it got more serious when they were spending so much time together. Kim wasn't feeling like she was willing to settle down with him just yet." So yes, it seems like it was just the natural progression of a rebound. These things happen. There's no animosity, no real drama, and that's nice for once. I'm sure Kim feels the same way after the headache I can imagine Kanye is. Speaking of Kanye, another source seemed to hint at the fact that Kanye did indeed have a bit of a hand to play in the whole thing, seemingly hinted at and confirmed by a source for Page 6 when talking about how Kim wants to focus on the kids, saying, quote, "When Kim is with someone else, Kanye can cause problems with the kids. He tries to divide and conquer. He can't help it. Kim is a really dedicated mother and her kids will always come first. She wants and needs harmony at home and in her life." So there you have it, a nice and chill celebrity breakup. Shocking, I know.
On August 8th, Kanye West released an Instagram post proclaiming that Skeet Davidson is dead on a fake New York Times backdrop. Skeet is the name that Kanye uses to refer to Pete Davidson, former SNL comedian and also now ex-boyfriend of Kim Kardashian. The post came after the most recent announcement that Kim and Pete had split after only 9 months of dating and a few tattoos on Pete later. The post has now been deleted, but not before millions of screenshots captured it as proof. This would not be the first time Kanye has commented on this relationship and taking jabs at Pete. Earlier in the year, Kanye released a music video that depicts the harming of Pete, and he also shared private text messages from Kim's phone on social media. Kim allegedly said to Kanye, "You are creating a dangerous and scary environment and someone will hurt Pete, and this will all be your fault." Kanye took to Instagram to follow up on this and commented, "Upon my wife's request, please nobody do anything physical to Skeet. I'm going to handle the situation myself." He accompanied the comment with a picture from the 2001 film Baby Boy with Ving Rhames hurting Tyrese Gibson. Kanye has repeatedly threatened Pete and begged for Kim to take him back. Allegedly, Pete is now attending therapy to recover from the craziness of this situation. A source close to Pete told People that the comedian has been in trauma therapy in large part due to the many threatening posts that Kanye has posted on social media. Quote, "The attention and negativity coming from Kanye and his antics is a trigger for Pete, and he's had to seek out help," the insider said. Celebs such as Trevor Noah has been trying to get Kanye's attention, reaching out and telling him that he's gone too far. Some people believe Kanye's post is yet another distraction post curated by the Kardashian clan. Kanye has been known to make dark jokes, and after publicly announcing he was going to deal with the situation himself, this post could be a sign that he has dealt with it and he is the reason they have split up. Fans have become so obsessed with the breakup of Kim and Pete and Kanye's posts and have come up with a few theories as to what is really going on. Some say Kim and Kanye are now back together and that may motivate Kanye to post something like this to implant the idea into everyone's mind that he won. Some say that the breakup, along with Kanye's disturbing post, is a distraction from the fact that Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson just had another child, something no one is talking about. The news was timed perfectly to distract everyone from Khloe's new child, as people are already super hard on Khloe for forgiving Tristan, and she may just want this time without the public's energy and opinion. But then of course the final theory as to why Kanye may post something like this could be due to mental illness. It became public knowledge not too long ago that Kanye suffers from a few mental disorders, including bipolar disorder, and as we all can remember from Amanda Bynes' tweets in 2013, another celeb who suffers from bipolar disorder, it wouldn't be within the wheelhouse of someone struggling with this disorder to say erratic things and make inappropriate remarks. As much as I am all for freedom of speech, I think it's the job of his family and team to make sure that he is okay and gets the help that he needs, even though they may be conflicted with this, as this kind of behavior has become a part of his brand, sadly.
On Friday, Kim and Kanye met in Los Angeles to have a conference to set up their trial in regards to their divorce. Kanye's divorce lawyer at the time was a woman named Samantha Spector, and she asked that the judge relieve her as Kanye's counsel. She said that their relationship was irretrievably broken, but she wouldn't say why that was. Samantha is known for her work with other celebrity divorces, and you can't help but wonder what happened between the two for her to decide that stepping down from the case was the best option. She had a date set to withdraw a week from now, but the judge granted her request and now Kanye is left without a lawyer. Again. The judge also decided that Kanye needs to submit his request and settle the remaining issues, or the case will be going to court in December. Most people think that if Kanye continues to lose lawyers and not give his demands, Kim will probably get whatever she asked for in the case. People on Twitter have also been commenting on the situation, many people thinking that Kanye is to blame for his issues. Tweets said things like, "Fifth lawyer, I'm starting to think that Kanye may be the common denominator in all of his issues, lol. And Kanye should just give Kim what she wants, SMH. He's the problem. His attorneys quit just how Kim did in the marriage. Seems too he didn't dump the girlfriends he had after Kim, they dumped him. Poor guy went downhill mentally after the loss of his mother." There are at least some people though that are in defense of Kanye. One person saying, "Won't be shocked if the lawyer got paid off or threatened by the Kardashians. The Kardashian couldn't get the conservatorship, now they want to take his money by all means. I'm here for Kanye fighting till he gets what he wants. And no, he is not holding on to Kim, that's delusional." This being in response to some people thinking that Kanye might be holding on to his relationship with Kim and dragging the divorce out due to this. As far as their relationship goes, it would appear that the two are actually still on good terms. Despite Kim Kardashian now being with Pete Davidson, Kim and Kanye have still been spotted together and she seems to be supporting his business endeavors. In the last few months, the two have been photographed together in what seem to be co-parenting efforts. The two most recently being caught at a basketball game that their daughter North was participating in. The same scenario taking place back in March when they both appeared at their other kid Saints soccer game. At the time those photos came out, Kanye was very vocally angry about Kim and Pete's relationship seeming to get more serious, but since then it seems that he's quieted down. Very recently, Kim also posted a photo of herself, Chicago, and North all wearing Yeezy sunglasses and seeming to advertise the brand. So things between her and Kanye can't be all that terrible. Khloe was most recently with basketball player Tristan Thompson, and they already had one child together named True, who is now 4 years old. It was then revealed that he had had another child with Marilee Nichols while they were together, but the news only went public 1 month after he and Khloe had already conceived their second child. Another basketball playing ex, Lamar Odom, seems to want a piece of the drama that has been taking place here, and made some interesting comments towards their situation. So let's take a look at what he said and recap some of their past relationship history. Khloe and Lamar were together for 5 years before they split up back in 2016, Lamar admitting that throughout their relationship he struggled with substance abuse, also admitting to having affairs with multiple other women during that time, though he does seem to feel regret for the situation. Back in 2017, he admitted just how he felt about what he had done. In an interview with Us Weekly, he said, "If there's one thing I regret when I was married, it was having multiple affairs with different women. That wasn't the stand-up thing to do. I wish I could have kept my wiener in my pants. I didn't treat that good woman right. It would be a blessing just to be in her presence. I'd tell her sorry for the fool I was." And it definitely looks like 5 years later he is still trying to rekindle the flame that previously burnt out. When the news came out about Tristan and Khloe's second child, he said to Page 6, "They're going to have another baby? She could have hollered at me for that." So it seems like after leaving behind ex-fiancée Sabrina Parr a few years ago, he's ready to hop back into the saddle of being with Khloe Kardashian. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's become the stand-up guy that he seems to think he is. When Sabrina Parr spoke of the relationship after they called off the wedding, she had a few less than kind things to say about Lamar. In an Instagram story, she said, "I had to be the first to let you all know that I am no longer engaged to Lamar. This has been a difficult decision for me to make, but it is the right decision for myself and my children. Lamar has some issues that he must resolve on his own." She said she is no longer able to remain by his side while he finds the care he so urgently needs. She then later shared that she would be writing a book and provided more detail about how the relationship ended. Sabrina said, "I formally broke up with my ex-fiancé 1 year ago today. I didn't tell anyone, including him. I simply left. I knew that the more I talked about my dissatisfaction, the more at ease I'd get in it. We were about to tie the knot in less than a year. I was terrified, hurt, and afraid of what might happen, but I knew I would never be free if I stayed." A few hours later, it appeared that Lamar was choosing not to stay silent about the situation. He made an Instagram post that he addressed to his exes and next, which said, "We were both poisonous, individually and collectively." So it looks like Lamar may still have some work to do in his personal personal life, as he admitted as well that he fears being alone. Now let's give a quick recap on Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson's rocky relationship and recent history. We know that the two had their first child, True, in 2018, and in 2021 it was revealed that Tristan had another child with a different woman named Theo. But 1 month earlier, Tristan and Khloe had already conceived their second child via a surrogate due to Khloe's own health issues and struggles with getting pregnant. Tristan was known to have been unfaithful throughout their relationship, but it seemed that the announcement of the affair and subsequent child was the nail in the coffin. When the news broke, Tristan said, "Khloe, you don't deserve this. You don't deserve the heartache and humiliation I have caused you. You don't deserve the way I have treated you over the years. My actions certainly have not lined up with the way I view you. I am so incredibly sorry." According to sources, the two are apparently both still single now and only meet with each other to discuss co-parenting matters.
An Instagram account is claiming to be Tristan Thompson's new baby mama, and needless to say, Khloe Kardashian is not happy about it. Recently, the couple made headlines after news broke that a personal trainer by the name of Marley Nichols was pregnant with Tristan's baby. After making the news public through her Instagram story, she also shared some leaked text messages between herself and Tristan. According to People magazine, Thompson is also being sued by Nichols for child support and pregnancy-related fees after she says they conceived a child together in March. Nichols apparently gave birth to the baby boy last week, according to her representation. In one of the text messages from Tristan to Nichols, he says, "You know how I feel. My feelings haven't changed at all. Won't be involved at all. By the way, if you think having this baby is gonna make you some money, it's completely wrong. You are aware that I'm retiring after this season. So in terms of support, it will be whatever is required monthly for someone who's unemployed. It's Texas, so it will be only a couple $100s. So you better off taking this $75K I'm offering, because you won't get nothing near that with having a kid with a father who's unemployed. All you will have is a baby with a father who has zero involvement with the child and a few $100s of child support a month." He even just recently had this lawsuit sealed after requesting a gag order to prevent Nichols from engaging with the media any further. However, Khloe Kardashian knows about the baby and she was not pleased to hear about it. A source exclusively told Us Weekly amid the scandal, "This is a very sad time for Khloe. She really loves Tristan and still held a candle for him. She thought he might have changed his ways. Khloe now knows that Tristan was unfaithful to her when they were back together." In court documents obtained by the press, Thompson admitted to cheating on Khloe with Nichols and that he ordered genetic testing back in July before filing an amended petition in Texas last month, once again asking for a paternity test. As per the court documents, Marley also claims that her relationship with the NBA star began at least 5 months before his 30th birthday in March and continued throughout her pregnancy. This is Tristan's third child with another woman, and according to People magazine, Khloe has just decided to move on. The source speaking with People magazine goes on to say, "Khloe's moving on. Tristan and Khloe have been broken up for a while, and things are okay between them." The insider then added that they both are just focused on co-parenting their 3-year-old daughter. In August, many people were shocked because about 2 months after their other breakup, rumors were circulating again that Khloe was taking Tristan back, and so of course the internet expressed their opinions on how they truly felt about this, with one user writing, "At this point, Khloe Kardashian has no self-worth. Anyway, I can't believe they tagged her in that." However, Khloe quickly responded to that and said, "You're telling me you made an assessment about my life because of a random blog? I think that says more about you than it does about me." And this prompted E! News to report that despite blog rumors, Khloe and Tristan were not back together. A source then added, "They are telling people they aren't back together but have been hanging out pretty often with True. Apparently she wants him around and they talk every day, and despite everything, Khloe has forgiven him for what he's done and would rather just be on good terms with him." Her friends though had apparently been encouraging her over and over again to not take Tristan back after his multiple cheating scandals. They also believe she only remained close with him because she always believed that he would change one day. However, as it turns out, once a cheater, always a cheater.
It's official. Hollywood's hottest couple has gotten married in a low-key ceremony in Las Vegas. The wedding took place after the Grammys, where Kourtney and Travis were in attendance. Allegedly, the union took place around 1:30 a.m. on Monday, which is pretty customary for a Vegas wedding. The couple were at the Grammys because Travis was asked to perform, and he and Kourt were seen walking the red carpet, showing off all the PDA we expect from them at this point. Sources told TMZ that the couple showed up prepared for the ceremony with their marriage license in hand, which they presented to the minister, who made things official. TMZ reported that the couple didn't allow the venue to take any photos, bringing their own photographer and security instead. And just in case the wedding was not Vegas enough, the wedding was apparently ordained by an Elvis impersonator. It was apparently important to the couple that Elvis officiate the wedding, so they clearly chose the perfect location. I gotta be honest, when I first heard the news, news, I was a little disappointed because I was hoping we would get to see their lavish wedding on their upcoming Hulu show, but apparently a lavish ceremony is still on the table. The couple has stated that they will have, quote, several other celebrations with lots of fanfare. It's unclear if the pair had planned to get married in Vegas that night or not, but either way, we're sure they are ecstatic. Shortly after the wedding ceremony, the couple was seen back at the Wynn Hotel at 2 a.m., with Travis having to help Kourtney in the door, who was stumbling. A source revealed to DailyMail.com that she was tipsy and had a few drinks throughout the evening. The wedding of these two has been highly anticipated since Travis popped the question in October of 2021 at a Montecito, California beach. After Kourtney's public relationship struggles with her ex, Scott Disick, fans weren't sure if she would meet her Prince Charming, but Kardashian fans are ecstatic that she is finally getting the happy ending she's been hoping for, and the couple are not shy about their passion for one another, with the couple being known for their makeouts just about everywhere. This is the first marriage for 42-year-old Kourtney, who was in a long-term relationship with her ex Scott Disick and shares 3 children with him. That couple never even got engaged because they were so notoriously on and off. For 46-year-old Travis, this is his 3rd marriage. He was with his first wife Melissa Kennedy for only 9 months before he filed for divorce back in 2002. Travis then married Shanna Moakler a few years later in 2004, but he filed for divorce after nearly 2 years in 2006, and in 2008 their divorce was finalized. Travis shares 2 kids with Shanna. Like I said before, the Kardashians will be making their comeback to reality TV on Hulu on April 14th, and fans will be pumped to know they will not only be seeing the proposal, but also be able to see their Las Vegas wedding on the show. Travis were longtime friends for a decade before they started dating in late 2020, and went Instagram official just after Valentine's Day in 2021. The pair are also trying to get pregnant, and Kourtney has shared that she underwent IVF treatment to try and get pregnant. Nothing more has been shared about their pregnancy journey from the couple, but I'm sure we will be seeing it all on the show. So that's all for the story. Let me know your thoughts on this one below. I'm personally very shocked that for Kourtney's first marriage she wanted to get it done in like a shotgun Las Vegas wedding, but I guess that's her style. She's always kind of against the grain in these sort of things. It seems that Kourtney Kardashian is caught in a love triangle, and Scott Disick just made things incredibly awkward between him and Travis Barker. So as we know, Kourtney is very publicly dating Travis Barker, and they are known for their excessive PDA that's often captured by the paparazzi. Currently, the pair are on a trip in Italy, and they look to be having an amazing time. But it looks like Scott Disick is not, because he just shaded Kourtney and Travis's relationship to none other than Eunice Benjima, another one of Kourtney's ex-boyfriends. In the leaked DMs that were put online by Eunice, Scott shared a picture of Kourtney and Travis making out, along with the message, quote, "Yo, is this chick okay? Bro, like what is this?" in the middle of Italy, clearly trying to initiate a conversation where they both talk trash about Kourtney. But to everyone's surprise, even though it seems that Kourtney and Eunice ended things pretty badly, Eunice did not trash talk Kourtney, and he responded, quote, "Doesn't matter to me as long as she's happy. P.S. I ain't your bro." When Eunice shared the screenshot, he included another message for Scott, writing, quote, "Keep the same energy you had about me publicly, privately." This is most likely referencing all the trash talking that the Kardashians have said against Eunice, specifically Scott. In the Keeping Up with the Kardashians reunion, when Scott was asked about Kourtney's ex-boyfriends, Scott said, quote, "I just want to kill them." Then added an apparent reference to Eunice, saying, quote, "Well, the last guy, let's be honest here." This led Khloe to respond, quote, "Nobody was happy with the last one." So very shady against Eunice. We all knew who they were talking about. For some more background on Eunice and Kourtney, the pair dated on and off between 2016 and 2018, and over the course of their relationship, the Kardashians made their thoughts against him clear. One of his feuds with the Kardashians happened when he was caught on a beach getting cozy with a woman right after one of his splits from Kourtney. Kim commented on Instagram, quote, "Nice pic from your boys trip." Then another time, Khloe made her dislike for him clear, tweeting, quote, "He was so toxic and negative for Kourt." Again, we all know she was talking about Eunice. It seems that Kourtney has somewhat responded to all this drama, and on her Instagram story the day after everything was leaked, she shared an article from her lifestyle website Poosh alongside the caption, quote, "How to get over someone who treated you badly." The article details how to get over a toxic breakup and heal yourself for your next partner, urging readers to move on from people who treat you badly. Many think this could be a dig to Scott, as many critics have called their relationship over the years toxic, and I would definitely agree with that. When asked if he and Kourtney would ever get back together, Scott said, quote, "Kourtney needs certain things that I haven't been able to provide her, and perhaps we both need to realize that we won't be together and maybe move on completely." He said this in a Keeping Up with the Kardashians confessional. But it seems that Scott has not moved on and is still very much invested into her relationships. And to be honest, this whole thing is just very embarrassing. Like, the Kardashians have done so much for Scott over the years, and he goes and betrays Kourtney like this, dissing her to her most hated ex-boyfriend. I wonder how Amelia Hamlin, his current girlfriend, feels about all of this. I'm sure it is not good. Can you imagine your current boyfriend shading his ex and the mother of his children to her ex-boyfriend. Like, it's so messy.
Big news, Trump just surrendered to authorities yesterday. He got charged with 34 counts of falsifying business records and conspiracy related to the 2016 hush money payments. It only took a few minutes to drive from his home at Trump Tower to the Manhattan Criminal Courthouse. During the drive, he wrote one last message to his followers on Truth Social. He said, "Heading to Lower Manhattan, the courthouse, seems so surreal. Wow, they are going to arrest me. Can't believe this is happening in America. MAGA." Both anti-Trump and pro-Trump protesters flooded the area outside the courthouse. Trump had on a poker face as he got out of the car and walked inside, before briefly pausing to wave at the crowd. On entering the courthouse, he surrendered to New York authorities and became the first ever US president to ever be criminally charged. He had his fingerprints taken and his details recorded, but he will not be handcuffed or put in a jail cell, and he is not expected to have his mugshot taken. He appeared before Judge Juan Merchan for his arraignment. It wasn't broadcast on TV as the judge banned cameras from the courtroom, but there have already been some official pictures released from inside the room. His lawyer Joe Tacopina can be seen sitting next to him. This investigation is years in the making. It started when Trump was still in the White House. The Manhattan DA found out that he paid 2 women hush money to try and avoid a scandal ahead of the 2016 election. One of those women was adult film star Stormy Daniels, who claims that she had a sexual encounter with him in 2006. The year after he married Melania and more than a decade before he became president. For his part, Trump has denied the relationship and said that the payment was made to stop her false and extortionist accusations. In October of 2016, just days before the presidential election, Daniels signed a non-disclosure agreement where she pledged not to publicly address her relationship with him in exchange for $130,000, which was arranged by his lawyer Michael Cohen. That hush money worked until the Wall Street Journal broke the story around 2018, and things started to unravel. At first, Michael Cohen insisted that he paid Daniels using his own money, and he did this of his own volition. He said that he was never reimbursed for the payment, but he later contradicted these statements under oath and revealed that he was in fact instructed to make the payment and later reimbursed. Cohen was convicted of tax evasion, lying to Congress, and campaign finance violations related to the payments to Daniels. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison. For his part, Trump has continually denied any wrongdoing. After leaving the hearing yesterday, he flew from New York to Florida to give a speech. He ignored a plea from the judge to refrain from making inflammatory statements and launched into a full-blown rant about the case. He said, "I never thought anything like this could happen in America. I never thought it could happen. The only crime I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it." He went on to claim that prosecutors were not able to make a case against him and the entire country is going to hell. He said, "I have a Trump-hating judge with a Trump-hating wife and a family whose daughter worked for Kamala Harris." With this speech, he made it clear that he has no plans of toning down his rhetoric. So it's possible that the judge might decide to issue a gag order, which would legally restrict him from speaking publicly about the case outside of court proceedings. He would also be banned from talking about it online. While this might infringe his First Amendment rights, some people think it could be necessary given just how much he's already posted about the case. It would also prevent him from using all of this to boost his presidential campaign, which his team has already been doing. While he was awaiting his arraignment, his campaign blasted out a fundraising email selling a t-shirt with his fake mugshot on it. They asked people for a contribution of $47 to his campaign in order to get a shirt. Over the last couple of days, Trump has lashed out at almost everyone involved in his arrest. Apart from the judge, he's also attacked the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, the guy who brought the investigation against him. On Truth Social, the former president posted an image of himself waving a baseball bat close to Alvin's head. He also called him an animal and threatened death and destruction if he were to be charged. But it's possible that Trump is just putting on a big front. He insisted over and over again that the DA doesn't have anything on him, but he's probably sweating bullets right now. One of his former aides spoke out about his arrest and said that it must be a jarring and surreal surreal moment for him. He said this is the least amount of control that Trump has ever had over a situation, and his physical circumstances in many, many years. On the other hand, his attorneys were pretty confident of his innocence. They told TMZ, "Trump did not commit any crime. We will vigorously fight this political prosecution in court." His son Eric Trump also spoke out about his father's arrest. He said, "This is third world prosecutorial misconduct. It is the opportunistic targeting of a political opponent in a campaign year." But whatever you believe, it's really difficult to see how Trump is going to get out of this one. Okay, now we have to talk about a relationship that has fans fuming. Yes, it's whatever is going on between Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny. When rumors of their relationship started to surface online, everyone was really confused. They were thinking, hold on, this can't be right. Bad Bunny is dating a Kardashian? His fans were genuinely shocked. A lot of them couldn't believe it. But if you take a look at the most recent photos, it gets harder and harder to deny reality. Over the weekend, the two of them went for a horseback ride at the Hidden Hills Equestrian Center in California. It looked like a very fun date, and apparently they spent about 90 minutes just riding horses. They took turns on the horse and even rode together at one point. That's when things got romantic. Kendall was seen taking the reins while Benito was sitting behind her with his arms around her waist. Now, the fact that they did this is a pretty big deal. Kendall is definitely a horse girl. In fact, she once claimed that her only friends were her horses. So if she's introduced him to her favorite animals, that probably means it's getting serious. Once these pictures went viral, you can pretty much guess how fans reacted. One person tweeted, "I am so confused. What do they even talk about? Homegirl can't even cut a cucumber. How is she able to understand a single word in Spanish?" Other people wrote things like, "I bet she downloaded Duolingo only for him." And this is another celebrity hookup that seems like a publicity stunt. If you go through all these comments, the general consensus seems to be that the two of them should not be dating because Kendall Jenner is a basic white girl. But that's only a surface level criticism. The confusion and hatred of their relationship is about so much more than that. Despite their family's success, the Kardashians are not very well liked in the public eye. They've been accused of being out of touch, not understanding their privilege, and generally being everything that's wrong with celebrities these days. They also get accused of cultural appropriation like every other month. And this is something that all five sisters have been guilty of at one point in time. Kendall specifically had a major problem with this when she did a photo shoot for her Spirits brand 818 Tequila. In the photos, she was seen riding a horse through rows and rows of agave plants and sipping her tequila on the back of a pickup truck. She was also wearing an outfit and a hairstyle that is traditionally associated with Mexican culture, which obviously is not her culture. The entire campaign capitalized on stereotypes about farmers in Mexico. Not only that, but the Kardashians have also been called out for fetishizing men of color. And since Benito is Puerto Rican, fans seem to think that Kendall is doing the exact same thing with him. That's exactly why everyone's so upset. The rapper has helped a lot of Hispanic people feel seen because he's so successful in mainstream pop. He is this entirely likable, utterly unproblematic celebrity. And then you have Kendall, who's essentially the complete opposite. So it's no wonder they feel so protective over him. Recently, there has been other couples that fans have objected to, like Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde, but this one feels a little different. When the rumors first started circulating about them, people were fuming at the idea that Benito would even think about interacting with someone like Kendall. When it started in February, many believed that it was just a drop in the pan, and it would barely last longer than a week. The two of them were seen leaving the same restaurant around the same time as Justin and Hailey Bieber, so that made it seem like they were on a double date. A few days later, an inside source spoke to People magazine and said, "She likes him and is having fun. He is different from guys that she's dated in the past. He's very charming." According to Entertainment Tonight, her feelings were being reciprocated. Quote, "Kendall and Bad Bunny are attracted to each other and definitely have a flirty vibe. It's been fun for both of them so far." Then in early March, the two of them were spotted heading to Sushi Park in West Hollywood along with Kylie Jenner. This is when they were photographed hugging and kissing. Around this time, it was reported that they had been taking things slow for now and seeing where things go in the future. It was said that they both really liked each other and were hanging out and having a good time. They got along very well and have mutual friends, so the people around them really liked them together. A few weeks later, they were spotted going on that romantic horse ride. Now, there are still some fans desperately clinging to the idea that they're just friends. But to those people, I say, look at the photos and tell me you think that friends ride horses like that. And now, did you know that a growing number of Gen Zs have decided to ditch their smartphones for something a little more old school? It seems like the younger generation have just discovered those old Nokia brick phones and flip phones that that everyone used to have in the 2000s. They are calling them dumb phones. And yes, that's actually happening. CNBC reported that Gen Z are now opting for these old models over a state-of-the-art smartphone. Last year, Nokia sold tens of thousands of flip phones, brick phones, and the ones that slide up to reveal a keyboard. These dumb phones have become a hot new trend, which seems to have been started by teenagers in New York City. So what's the deal? Do they even know these phones can't do anything except for the most basic form of communication? Well, yeah, they do, and that's the whole idea. One of the biggest selling points of this trend is the fact that it will drastically reduce your screen time. It allows you to use tech more purposefully instead of just mindlessly scrolling. Of course, that will help you live in the moment more and lengthen your attention span, which is something that we should all be working towards. Another bonus is that their price range is really basic, so it's going to be very reasonable. After all, one of the biggest worries you have with an iPhone is the possibility of it breaking or losing it. Aside from being a total pain to replace it, it's just a very expensive mistake to make. Add that to the fact that most of our phones are now linked up to things like Apple Pay and other personal data. When you lose it, you have to make sure that you wipe everything that's stored on the device. It's just a massive hassle. So it's no wonder that this trend is getting really popular with Gen Z. By using a phone from the Stone Age, it also gives them less opportunities to make bad decisions, like posting something embarrassing on social media after they've been drinking. When your inhibitions are lowered, in comes the temptation to post risky photos, write a very opinionated tweet, or call your ex and tell them how much you miss them. Most of the older phones still have low-res cameras, but they don't have the software that'll let you post things right away. One TikTok creator made a video explaining the trend. She said, "My friend group realized that every single problem we had on a night out, everything that led to us crying, everything that led to us having a bad hookup, everything that leads us to having a bad time stems from our phone while we're out." Of course, brick phones can still communicate in an emergency, but it doesn't have all that extra stuff that gets in the way of you being present. It is a little unsafe though, because most phones have smartphone built-in trackers and location sharing features, which comes in very handy if one of your friends gets separated from the group. But it seems like a lot of people are willing to risk it. There's now a whole Reddit thread with over 18,000 members all encouraging each other to get dumb phones. Many people are looking for recommendations or sharing their favorite dumb phone hacks, which is really funny when you think about it. The only thing that you can really do on an old Nokia is play that snake game. It's not exactly Candy Crush, but it was really entertaining when you had nothing else to do. So it's all about perspective.